Who is ready to say goodbye to 2024 and the year of the Wood Dragon? January 2025 is all about initiating a year of dynamic change. This is as all of the outer planets prepare to change signs and shift from a dominance in earth and water to a dominance of air and fire, much faster and more dynamic elements. If you do anything for this upcoming Aquarius new moon, aka the Lunar New Year, happy Lunar New Year, let it be this. Pay attention to the revelations, sudden downloads, flashes of insight and understanding, and new information that's coming to light regarding not only yourself, but society at large, especially regarding what's been unconscious, hidden, kept secret, repressed, or avoided. Aquarius is a fixed air sign, with air relating to interpersonal connection, communication, intelligence, and logic. And fixed meaning set or stubborn in one's thinking or way of seeing, believing, or perceiving. In shadow, Aquarius can be a bit of a pretentious know-it-all, being overly rigid or fixed in their thinking, perceiving, and overall worldview. That's why this Aquarius new moon lunar eclipse is asking you to be more open-minded moving forward. Consider both conflicting points of view, especially as the world has never been more divided, with Jupiter in Gemini. You're being asked to reflect on the ways your thought patterns and beliefs about the world and the way that it works might be overly fixed, stubborn, or rigid. The Aquarius Lunar New Year, with the help of Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in its final months, its final year in Taurus, it seeks to liberate us from not only the confines of our comfort zones, but from complacency and stagnation, and any outdated patterns of thinking, perceiving, or believing that no longer serve our highest potential and best interest. 2025 is asking us to embody the adaptability and resilience of an Aquarius as we prepare for an even more chaotic year ahead with echoes of 2020. Hello, and welcome back to J. Kernifer Astrology. On this channel, we talk all things astrology, tarot, esoterica, and the law of attraction. My name is Jenny, and I produce bi-weekly general predictive astrological analyses for each full and new moon. In 2025, we have 12 full moons, 1 per month, and 13 new moons. Stay tuned to find out when that bonus new moon will be. I work full-time as a stretch practitioner, and in my free time, I transform lives through the mediums of astrology and tarot. For more information about my services, rates, and how to book, please check the description box below. I'm not active on Instagram or TikTok at the moment, but I am always accessible by email. Today in this video, we'll be covering the Lunar New Year, aka the Aquarius New Moon 2025, happening 9.5 degrees of fixed air sign Aquarius. It exacts on Tuesday, January 28th or Wednesday, January 29th, depending on where in the world you're tuning in from. Please adjust for your time and location. If it's happening for you on Tuesday, January 28th, you can look to Mars for additional information. That's because Mars's day is Tuesday, the day named for Mars. If it's happening for you on Wednesday, January 29th, like it is for me on the East Coast, you can look to Mercury for additional insight. Wednesday is Mercury's day. If you're on the East Coast of the United States like myself, then this Aquarius new moon, the Lunar New Year, is exacting on Wednesday, January 29th, 2025 at 7:35 a.m. We have an Aquarius new moon every year, but this one is special because of the large concentration of planetary bodies, creating a large concentration of energy in Aquarius. Most notably, this new moon in a loose conjunction to the tight conjunction happening between Pluto and Mercury in the early degrees of Aquarius. And an equally powerful large concentration of energy in the second half and later degrees of Pisces, featuring Saturn in loose conjunction to Venus as Venus closes in on Neptune and the north node of fate and destiny. Stay tuned to find out what that means. It also features Uranus, planet of sudden change, its modern planetary ruler, stationing direct just a few hours after the new moon and Lunar New Year, implying that a year of chaos is about to unfold as we shift into a period of dynamic change. I would like to thank you in advance for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing this content, which tells the algorithm you benefited from it and would like to see more of it. Commenting is a great way to start a public conversation. You can ask any questions you might have, maybe about a particular transit. You can share any relevant placements you have. Maybe they are in connection with me or others who are commenting. And by subscribing, you'll be notified with each new video that I produce. That way, you can be the first to know what the cosmos may have in store for you. And without further ado, let's dive in. The new moon in Aquarius is spotlighting innovation and ideation, the power of collaboration versus competition, the individual versus the group or society. It's emphasizing a need for environmentalism as climate change becomes an even hotter hot topic, and it's emphasizing a need for more humanitarian pursuits. Generally speaking, new moons represent new beginnings and fresh starts. This is due to the conjunction, or alignment, of the sun and the moon in the same part of the sky or universe. Conjunctions, aka alignments, are seeding moments. The squares and the oppositions that come down the road later are the tests. In fact, this is precisely why new moons are ideal for setting intentions, because they offer an alignment between the sun, representing our core consciousness, and the moon, representing our subconsciousness, our private, more emotional selves. This means that there's a perfect exact alignment between what's conscious and what's unconscious, allowing us to bring what's not conscious into the light of consciousness for healing. When I use the terms unconscious and subconscious, I am not using them interchangeably. When I use the term unconscious, I mean that which we are ignorant of, or that which is unknown. When I use the subconscious, I'm specifically referring to what is deliberately repressed, avoided, or suppressed. The sun essentially reprograms the subconscious with each lunar cycle, with the subconscious represented by the moon. Every time the sun travels through each zodiacal sign, it spotlights that energy. Our individual consciousness mirrors that cycle. As above, so below. At the time of the moon passes between the earth and the sun. It therefore cannot reflect the sun's light back to us from this position. This is why the day of a new moon, and for 3 days before and after, the moon falls into a period of darkness and is no longer visible from our earth-based perspective. A symbolic return to consciousness. When the moon aligns with or conjoins the sun, it is consumed by its energy, believed to be combust, destroyed by burning down from the strength of its life force. It's believed to later be reborn, like the phoenix rising from its ashes, reborn stronger and more resilient than it was before. The rebirth occurs once the moon travels far enough away from the sun to reflect its light again and be visible again. This occurs about 3 days after the new moon, that magic number 3. We cannot see the new moon because it does not have its own light source. The moon can only reflect or mirror the light of the sun, the light of consciousness, back to us, which is why full moons are so illuminating. In this case, the sun spotlights a quadruple conjunction, an alignment of 4 planets, the moon, Mercury, with Pluto bringing an intensity, with ripple effects lasting through the end of the year. This symbolic rebirth is an opportunity for us to reflect on where we would like to be in the future. Aquarius is a future-oriented sign. Reflect on your unique role and contribution to the collective. 6 months from now, where would you like to see yourself? This new moon completes 6 months from now under the corresponding Aquarius full moon, or full moon in Aquarius, the full sturgeon moon, exacting 16.5 degrees Aquarius, on Saturday, August 9th, 2025 at 3:54 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Reflect on where you would like to be 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and 20 years from now. Pluto will be in Aquarius until 2043 and 2044, when it begins to shift into the next sign. This is the first Aquarius new moon featuring a conjunction to Pluto since Pluto began its forward progress after stationing direct 0 degrees Aquarius on November 19th, 2024. There will not be any more retrogrades for Pluto into Capricorn. We will not see Pluto in Capricorn again in our lifetime. This is it. The dawn of the age of Aquarius is upon us. And it has been since Pluto first ingressed and dipped its toes into Aquarius around the same time I launched this channel back in March 2023. 2023 and 2024 were merely a preview of what's to come between now and 2043. Specifically, under this Lunar New Year Aquarius new moon, we'll be setting intentions centered around Aquarian and Uranian themes, spotlighting the teams, groups, and networks that we're a part of and contribute to, and how we contribute to them, emphasizing a greater need for collaboration versus competition. We're leaning into independence and autonomy, and shifting out of victim mode and codependency. It's future-oriented, so we're reflecting on the previous year as we continue to focus on our long-term plans, goals, and commitments for the future. It's still the new year. It's the Lunar New Year. It's emphasizing change and how adaptable we either are or are not to it, emphasizing innovation, brainstorming, and ideation, rebelliousness, defying forced societal conventions, and encouraging thinking outside of the box. It's a humanitarian energy. We'll see an emphasis in environmentalism. Electricity, electrical waves, the brain, the nervous system, connective tissues, tendons, ligaments, all Aquarius themes and things. We'll improve our karma by donating our time and extra energy via charitable work, acts of service within the community. Technology, aviation, trains, especially innovations in those fields, will be a major focus. And we'll be receiving sudden downloads, insight, revelations, fresh new perspectives, and flashes of understanding. Intuition. The way that intuition works for an Aquarius is this gut feeling. It's like a I just know, or just knows things, or it just comes to them. We're shifting out of fixed and or outdated ways of thinking, perceiving, and believing, amplified by the new moon in Aquarius trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, the Aquarius stellium, and the Pisces stellium, which I'll get into in greater detail in the aspects and chart patterns section of the video. It's encouraging greater open-mindedness overall. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty, the detailed deep dive, let's first review the top transits leading into the Lunar New Year and surrounding it, the Aquarius New Moon 2025. On Sunday, January 19th, 2025, the day named for the sun's day, the sun ingressed into Aquarius, officially kickstarting Aquarius season 2025, spotlighting Aquarius energy and themes for the collective. Upon ingressing into Aquarius, the sun formed an immediate conjunction to Pluto, bringing a Scorpio subflavor and intensity to the energy, which we'll discuss momentarily. First, I'd like to wish a very happy birthday to all of my Aquarius friends. And there are many of you. As a North Node Aquarius and a second decan Libra, I am like a moth to a flame for Aquarius energy. I know and love it well. We love you and appreciate you for your status quo, defying innovative ideas and ability to adapt to sudden change, your resilience when faced with adversity, and your courage to be authentically and unapologetically you. Keep shining like the star that you are. On Monday, January 20th, 2025, the sun conjoined Pluto, the destroyer, exactly at the first critical degree of Aquarius, bringing a necessary death, destruction, or ending to an old way of being for the collective and, as above so below, on an individual level. The conjunction between the Sun and Pluto is called Pluto Cazimi, and it offers Pluto's first opportunity for clarity in the early degrees of Aquarius. Cazimi translates from Arabic for through the heart of. The sun is the center of our solar system. It's the center of our universe. Its light and heat allows for life to thrive on Earth. The sun in astrology illuminates and spotlights, but also within the individual represents the core personality, the ego, the soul's life path, or dharma, that we grow and evolve into in this beautiful journey we call life, through the heart of or center of. From our earth-based perspective, especially when we consider the perspective of our ancestors who predated the advent of the telescope and were forced to observe the patterns the planetary bodies made to one another with the naked eye. The planet experiencing the conjunction to the sun, the Cazimi, the rebirth, appears to travel right through the center of the sun, where the sun then appears to almost consume, to combust that other planet, as it is eclipsed from our view temporarily. During Pluto Cazimi, Pluto, which symbolically represents the underworld and the subconscious, brings a message from the depths of the underworld and our subconscious, our unconscious, to the light of consciousness, the sun, for healing. This is cleaning out the closets type energy. The sun in Pluto acts like a purgative or a digestive. Things that are potentially toxic, poisonous, or unhealthy for us can now be purged. Things we repressed, suppressed, avoided, hold within, or regularly try to escape from, including emotions and stool. Scorpio and Pluto rule the eliminatory systems of our bodies, including the passing of stool and urine. Fun fact. Things like bad habits and anything holding us back from our full potential. Things that have been unseen, our blind spots, things that have been kept hidden or secret from us or avoided may suddenly be revealed. Pluto and the sun is like a tower moment, the tower card in tarot, especially a critical first degree of Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, planet of sudden change and reversal. Pluto and the sun, with the help of Uranus in Taurus, is removing what's toxic, negative, or bad for us, such as when we choose to overstay in a toxic connection. What's become complacent or stagnant for or even within us. Tumors, cysts, and appendix removals are all very common under this energy. Scorpio is a common energy in surgeons, like fellow Mars-ruled Aries. This influence of Mars is why Scorpio is often confused for a fire sign, when it's in fact a water sign, and has so many similarities to Aries. It's the Lunar New Year, the year of the wood snake, which continues the energy of 2024, the year of the wood dragon, as the snake is considered to be a little dragon. Collectively, we'll be shedding our skin, parts of ego that no longer serve us, as we adapt to sudden change and upheaval. There's beauty in the breakdown. Pluto is nicknamed the Destroyer because it delivers karma by destroying anything that's not aligned with our authentic soul purpose and our highest good. With the influence of modern planetary ruler Uranus, aka the galactic fixer, there may be a sudden, shocking, or epic change. Some sort of exposure, maybe government corruption, something that leads to a great collective awakening that happens, like the waves of electricity in the Aquarius sign on my t-shirt, in waves. Neither planet is a bad guy. Uranus wants to put things right. Uranus seeks to liberate us from the confines of our comfort zones, especially when we've become complacent or stagnant, when the energy has started to stagnate and it's become stale. That's when Uranus comes in and changes things up, and especially when Uranus is in fixed Earth sign Taurus, which I'll get into later. Pluto conjoining the Sun helps us redefine the direction of things moving forward, and it offers motivation as a major, possibly sudden and shocking change unfolds. Pluto and Sun is also fertile and considered regenerative. It's fertile in that it's an empowering seeding moment, making this a critically important new moon and Lunar New Year, with effects that have the potential to last not only 6 months, but 20 years. The intentions you're setting for what you're manifesting has fertile soil from which to take root 6 months from now under the Sturgeon moon and continuing to blossom over the next 20 years as Pluto travels through the sign of Aquarius. It is regenerative, meaning that something that was once considered dead or cut off can now regenerate and come back around for healing. Pluto and the Sun conjoined is Pluto's first complication and Pluto's first judgment. Pluto tends to expose power and control imbalances and dynamics, especially ones that are unconscious to us, including conflicts of willpower and conflicts of ego. We'll be presented with reflections of our own shadow traits to work on, and we'll be feeling the weight of karmic justice. Justice begins in the autumn or fall with Libra season on the autumnal equinox, when we're presented with equal amounts of day and light just prior to the Sun ingressing into the sign of its fall, Libra. This is perhaps the origin of the word fall as a nickname for autumn, which could have also come from the annual falling of leaves in the northern hemisphere. The conjunction between the Sun and Pluto can feel very harsh and severe. It's intense, like Scorpio season. Karma is coming to any solar figure, including but not limited to father figures, authority figures, bosses, influencers, leaders, anyone in power, celebrities, and anyone, especially anyone who uses or misuses or abuses their power and status in the top 2%. Pluto is the modern planetary ruling body for Scorpio, and in Scorpio season during the fall, when the Sun is in its weakest position in the northern hemisphere, where the majority of humans live on the planet, everything that depends on the Sun for sustenance, most notably plants and animals, either dies or hibernates as they conserve their energy and prepare to be reborn or to re-emerge from a period of hibernation stronger than before in the spring. On Tuesday, January 21st, this energy carried us into the last, aka third quarter moon, 2 degrees Scorpio on Tuesday, January 21st, 2025, featuring the conjunction between Sun and Pluto squaring the Scorpio last quarter moon. The last quarter moon is all about releasing and purging. Also on Tuesday, January 21st, 2025, Mercury in the late degrees of Capricorn activated Mars retrograde in Cancer by exact opposition, leading to some sort of heated conversation or argument. A heated conversation brings clarity and healing. On Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, the Scorpio moon activated Venus, Mars retrograde, Neptune, and the north node of fate and destiny by harmonious trines, and Mercury with a supportive sextile. This essentially activated the energy of the planetary parade featured in the sky from January 23rd until the end of January, January 29th. On Thursday, January 23rd, 2025, and lasting through Monday, January 27th, 2025, and into the Lunar New Year, we had this incredibly rare planetary parade, beginning a 2-month grand alignment, lasting into February and March of 2025, with Mercury, Pluto, the Sun and Moon, Saturn, Venus, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, and Mars all visible in the same half of the sky, aligned for the Lunar New Year. This will be the last planetary parade of its kind until 2040, signifying a period of rapid dynamic change unfolding. If we chart this planet parade onto a natal chart, it forms a special chart pattern called a mystical rectangle. Whenever we're presented with a mystical rectangle, it means that the universe is about to throw us a curveball in the form of a challenge, a sudden event, or a reversal on something that you already have all the tools, resources, and skills needed to adapt, sway, sidestep, dodge, and or solve. On Monday, January 27th, 2025, Mercury shifted into Aquarius. Aquarius is one of the most brilliant placements for Mercury as the highest octave of Mercury. Mercury represents the lower mind, while Uranus represents the higher mind, higher consciousness. And you'll remember that Uranus is the modern planetary ruler for Aquarius energy. Mercury travels very quickly through and only spends about 2 weeks in Aquarius, so be sure to make the most of the energy. Mercury in Aquarius enhances the activities of Mercury and the mind, communication, and it brings clarity of thought, especially within group environments and collaborative or intellectual spaces. I recommend reducing your caffeine consumption. As this is highly electric energy, you probably won't need it right now. I recommend reading and listening to educational audiobooks and podcasts, as you may just be sponging it all up. I recommend writing and journaling. I recommend learning foreign languages, especially if it interests you. Mercury in Aquarius is adept at learning foreign languages and may be multilingual. I recommend enjoying a fresh perspective. Embody the energy of the eagle, one of the symbols for Aquarius energy. Take yourself out of it. Rest on the perch high above and use that third-person omniscient narrator's view to detach from the details and really take a big picture, stoic look at what's going on. On Tuesday, January 28th, 2025, and under the Aquarius new moon, Mercury conjoins Pluto, presenting a powerful opportunity for getting to the deeper, possibly hidden truth of or heart of matters. Mercury conjoining Pluto also spotlights darker, shadow aspects of society, illuminating ultimately what's not working and allowing us to confront issues via awareness and consciousness so that we can come together, collaborate, and affect change and improve upon society, which is an Aquarius pattern. On Thursday, January 30th, 2025, Uranus, planet of sudden change and reversal, and modern planetary ruling body for Aquarius energy, stations direct, magnifying its effects and symbolism. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the nitty-gritty details of the deep dive. As we mentioned, Aquarius is a fixed air sign, so this new moon brings momentum and clarity along with it. The sun, the moon, Mercury, and Pluto are all aligned within the first decan of Aquarius. The first decan of Aquarius is ruled traditionally by Saturn and modernly by Uranus. Uranus, the planet of sudden change and progress and sudden reversal, stations direct just hours after the Lunar New Year, the Aquarius new moon, amplifying its effects and symbolism. We'll continue to see themes of extreme weather, weaponized weather, cyber attacks, and power outages. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. Fixed is set, and change is particularly difficult for fixed signs. Although change may blindside us, what's important is how we respond or adapt versus react to it. The keyword here is knowledge, and the constellation is Delphinius, the dolphin, the ancient savior of the shipwreck. The dolphin is the symbol of spirituality, the savior of the broken. Collective crisis of faith may be brought on by a historic, possibly catastrophic flooding event. The path tends to have obstacles for an Aquarius, but Aquarius sees these as challenges, just as Capricorn before you saw them as stepping stones on the way to the top of the mountain. With Uranus as the modern planetary ruling body, Aquarius's life tends to include sudden changes and events that prevent stagnation and complacency. Aquarius would likely become bored without it. As a North Node Aquarius and a second decan Libra ruled by Uranus, I can attest to this. Similar to Gemini, Aquarius needs almost constant change to keep from going stale and becoming bored. Known for their stoic detachment with an equally kind and friendly nature, Aquariuses have multiple friend groups and friends from all walks of life. Aquarius is known for a system of paradoxes. Pluto conjoined with Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon gives strong Aquarius with the transformative Scorpio subflavor just perfect for setting the tone of the Lunar New Year in the year of the wood snake. It's happening 9.5 degrees of Aquarius. 9 degrees is a Sagittarius degree, related to growth, wisdom, expansion, and healing. 2025 is a 9 year per numerology. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. Happy Lunar New Year. 2025 is the year of the wood snake being the little dragon, continuing the energy of 2024 into 2025. So similar to 2024, we begin 2025 with themes of deep personal transformation as the collective slowly awakens from a 14-year Neptune in Pisces stupor and adjusts to the future, the age of Aquarius, amplified by trines between Pluto in Aquarius and Jupiter and Uranus in Gemini upcoming next year. A rapid period of innovation and growth is unfolding. Snake energy is all about timing the bite, and strategy. So 2025 will be all about developing your strategy. Snakes are not impulsive. They conserve their energy and they act with purpose and intention. So you're encouraged to do the same. The universe is challenging you. Do not approach anything without a plan of attack in 2025. You'll need to be smart and strategic with your resources, whether it's time, energy, or money. It's transformative. Personal growth and evolution are symbolized by the snake shedding its skin. The sun and moon are aligned 9.5 degrees. This would round to Aquarius 10 degrees. Please turn to page 344 if you have the book at home. The Sabian Symbols, a screen of prophecy. Aquarius 10 degrees, a popularity that proves ephemeral. Keyword, approbation. Theme, the swing of the pendulum of fate, perhaps. I find this interesting because Pluto and Mercury are conjoining on top of my North Node. So we'll see. Perhaps it will be a popularity that proves ephemeral. This symbol speaks to having the courage to keep moving forward even when the going gets rough, or when there seems to be no appreciation of effort or accomplishment. As a content creator, I know this feeling well. The image of a popularity that proves ephemeral alludes to the inevitable downfall or personal rejection that every individual will experience at some time in his life. The implication is that success is actually the greatest point of challenge in any experience. The average person is inclined to rest on their laurels when they hear applause, while the individual with foresight knows that eventually the pendulum will swing in the other direction. The suggestion here is to learn to use the praise and approval of others as incentive to higher achievement, while looking within for any ultimate source of strength and sustainment. So finding that intrinsic motivation versus depending too heavily on extrinsic motivation. Really question why you're doing things. Positive. At its highest, this symbol represents self-confidence and fortitude in the face of discouragement and criticism. Negative, using others or going along with the crowd in the hope of gaining personal advantage. Yeah. Today, the accent is on rejection and disappointment. You could be criticized or ignored by those who previously patted you on the back and praised your efforts or performance. Your greatest advantage lies in being yourself. If you aren't appreciated where you are, then find a friendlier environment. It reminds me of a saying I used to say to others and to myself: you're not a tree, you can always move. Do your best and let the chips fall where they may. Guard against trying to please everyone. It cannot be done. Stepping stones: trendiness, transientness, elusiveness, evanescence, change, instability, impermanence, momentary, passing, mutable, perishable, short-lived, temporary, brief, or disappearing. So what I'm taking away from this is don't depend on the praise and approval of your boss, your coworkers, your peers. Instead, look for a source within to intrinsically motivate you and keep you going, like perhaps a personal mission to translate the astrology for the collective. North Node, Aquarius. I'd like to discuss the ruling planets for this Aquarius new moon and Lunar New Year. So we have Saturn, Kronos, planet of time, karma, personal accountability. Saturn is currently 17 degrees Pisces, closing in on Neptune 27 degrees, and the North Node of fate and destiny 28 degrees. Recently, on Saturday, January 18th, 2025, Saturn conjoined Venus. Saturn is considered to be in the heart of Pisces, wrapping up a final year in this mutable water sign, Pisces, teaching lessons in escapism, addiction, and avoidance, a need for healthy boundaries, and grounding down through self-discipline to make our dreams a reality. Saturn serves to temper what could otherwise potentially be an overemphasis of Pisces energy. Looking back to the 4-planet stellium in Pisces, we have both an exalted Venus in Pisces and an empowered Neptune in the final degrees of its sign of modern rulership. So Saturn's presence here serves to temper what could otherwise be an over-exaggeration of Pisces energy. The upcoming quadruple conjunction between Venus, Neptune, and the North Node of fate and destiny in the late degrees of Pisces with Saturn in its shadow serves to foreshadow the compassionate and empathetic energy needed to build a more equitable and collaborative society as we move into the future. The other planetary ruler, Uranus, Prometheus, the planet of sudden change, personal freedom, and revolution, is currently 23 degrees Taurus, about to station direct just hours after this new moon. Huge symbolism. It's still conjunct Algol, preparing to change signs from fixed Earth Taurus to mutable air Gemini in 2025 and 2026. Although Uranus was not comfortable in Taurus from 2018 to 2025, it brought revolution to the way that we do banking, to agriculture, and to currency itself. Uranus in Gemini indicates that a period of rapid change and growth are unfolding in 2025 and into 2026 as well. Revolution to education, the media, journalism, learning, writing, and sharing of information. Let's explore the chart patterns and aspects. So we have the multi-planet stellium we discussed in Pisces, the multi-planet stellium we discussed in Aquarius. We have the Aquarius new moon trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini on Aldebaran, which is a very lucky and abundant placement. In 2025 and moving into the age of Aquarius, prosperity and abundance will come through innovation and collaboration over competition. Jupiter expands and amplifies the energy, and it's the Lunar New Year. So it's a seeding effect with ripple effects lasting all year and 20 years into the age of Aquarius. The Aquarius new moon trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini on Aldebaran asks us to reflect on past ideas, perspectives, and ways of thinking, being, believing, and perceiving with fresh new eyes, like the eagle high up on its perch, looking down with that detached third-person omniscience. Uranus stationing direct and influencing Pluto in Aquarius. This will amplify extreme weather events as we prepare for the final year of Uranus in Taurus, amplifying its effects and symbolism. We'll see more historic snowstorms and flooding events, especially February and March 2025 and upcoming hurricane season 2025. We'll see continued themes of wildfire, with Mars retrograde returning to Leo once it's direct, and Venus Mercury upcoming retrograde in Aries in March and April 2025. Mars direct in Leo will take us all the way into May 2025. Uranus is the modern planetary ruler for the Lunar New Year, and whenever a planet stations direct or retrograde, it magnifies its effects and symbolism. So it's no coincidence it's happening under this Lunar New Year. We have a Yod, a finger of God pattern, Venus, Neptune in the North Node in Pisces, sextiling Uranus in Taurus, converging within conjunctions against, so the Yod is pointing to Black Moon Lilith, 23 degrees Libra. Libra versus Pisces in conjunctions show points where energies do not see eye to eye, 150-degree angle, almost like an opposition. So Libra is a cardinal air sign that initiates socially with its charm, its charisma, its intellect, and its outgoing personality, while Pisces is a much more reserved, mutable water sign, known for being more of a homebody, working on its art and creativity or spirituality. Libra tends to be more outgoing, while Pisces tends to be more introverted and likes to spend a lot of time alone. Black Moon Lilith in Libra specifically versus Venus in Pisces. So exaggerated or emphasized shadow feminine traits, people-pleasing, martyrdom, playing the victim, etc. Venus is between Saturn and Neptune, closing in on an important conjunction to Neptune in the North Node of Fate and Destiny in the late degrees of Pisces. Historic catastrophic flooding event that leads to some sort of crisis of faith or belief. Libra versus Taurus, so the point where these two signs don't see eye to eye. Libra is a cardinal air sign, while Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So they clash over things like money, how it's spent, power, and behavior, although they both appreciate luxury, shared by the influence of Venus as a planetary ruler. Libra tends to be more outgoing, while Taurus tends to be more of a homebody and an introvert. Black Moon Lilith in Libra specifically, in conjunct Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus wants to liberate you from the shackles and confines of your comfort zone. And we're coming into this challenging in conjunction to Black Moon Lilith in Libra, pits those shadow Libra traits that we just spent from mid-July 2023 to January 11th, 2025 working on while the South Node was transiting Libra against this sudden change or upheaval. And it's happening at 23 degrees, an Aquarius degree, pointing toward the networks, groups, and teams that we're a part of. So this may play out in the workplace or within a friend group. And we have a cardinal T-square featuring Black Moon Lilith in Libra opposite Chiron, asteroid of deepest soul wounding, in Aries. An abandonment wound flared or triggered by a people-pleasing pattern or tendency, which could play out interpersonally as conflict amid the work or friend group. Jupiter is still in Gemini and retrograde, so there could be something that was said in the past that comes back around to bite you. Jupiter and Gemini can be very prone to gossip, which can travel with the wind, or like feathers scattering in the wind. It's squaring off against Mars retrograde in Cancer, with Mars retrograde 21 degrees Cancer, square Black Moon Lilith 23 degrees. Libra, something is coming back to bite us from late October, early November, especially relating to any tendency to people please, gossip, or manipulate, so that's shadow Libra, and relating to past abandonment and perceived rejection wounding. Something triggers our deepest fears of abandonment and rejection stemming from early childhood. Overall, the Lunar New Year and Aquarius New Moon 2025 encourage us to face the shadow components of our society together, and it highlights a need for innovation on a collective, possibly even global scale. Thank you for watching. If you're still with me, you're a real one. Drop your current most used emoji in the comments. If you took anything away from this video, we ask that you like, comment, share the content, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, we know that you'll enjoy the full playlist and this additional video. Thank you so much. Love you and see you soon.